So almost a year ago, I've released a video on this channel about vertical AI agents, and this has been my most popular video since then. In that video, I think I've done a good job explaining what are vertical AI agents and why this is so much bigger than SaaS, but I really didn't provide you with an exact step-by-step guide and a real example on how you can actually implement this yourself. And so in this video, I'm going to attempt to fix this. I'm going to provide you with our vertical AI agent playbook that you can use to productize and scale any AI agent. We'll go through a real example of productizing a customer support agent for our own SaaS platform. But first of all, why would you even want to build vertical AI agents in the first place? Well, you see, if you are an expert in a certain niche or industry, the problem is that there's only one you. So you can only handle that many clients. But if you train an AI agent on your expertise, you can instantly 100x your impact across the entire industry because it no longer requires your direct involvement to serve clients. Additionally, it's also much easier than SaaS to train vertical AI agents because you don't need all these complex UIs and backends. You simply focus on the agent and the client can just use it in Slack, for example. So now let's review again what exactly are vertical AI agents, because even my understanding since I recorded that video has shifted significantly. So the primary difference is that when you build vertical AI agents, you typically build them for a specific role. While if you build horizontal AI agents, you build them specifically for each business. So this means that vertical AI agents can be reused across any number of businesses, while horizontal agents are only used within that business. And what it comes down to on a more technical level is that with vertical AI agents, you own the IP and you charge your clients for usage, while with horizontal AI agents, the client owns the IP and you charge per hour or for a service delivered. And so what this essentially means is that when you're building horizontal AI agents, you are in a service-based business. While if you are building vertical AI agents, you are in a product-based business. And these are two completely different business models, and selecting the wrong one can actually cost you a lot of time and money. So the primary differences between these business models are in scalability and the upfront investment required. So when you are building horizontal agents, you don't require as much upfront investment because you essentially develop each agent specifically for that client. But at the same time, it's a lot less scalable. On the other hand, when you build vertical AI agents, you do require some upfront investment. It's not necessarily monetary investment, but more like time and effort. But this agent is a lot more scalable once you actually productize it. And so what I recommended in that video is to start from horizontal AI agents and then move to vertical AI agents later. And although this advice still stands today, I've kind of shifted my perspective on how soon you need to transition to vertical AI agents. If before I recommended that you build at least 3 to 5 horizontal agents for each specific client first and only then productize them, today I recommend you productize as soon as possible, meaning that even after 1 to 2 agents, you should already start productizing them. The reason is because I've seen a significant shift in the market where clients no longer really want custom solutions and instead they want you to tell them what they need. Okay, so next, how do you actually find those valuable opportunities to productize? Well, the easiest way is to productize your own expertise. And trust me, you do have some expertise, even if it seems like you don't, because everyone has specific understanding somewhere. Like, for example, maybe you studied at college, maybe you worked at a certain company in a certain niche, so you should know something better than others. And it does not have to be too complex. Like, you don't have to be the best in your industry. You just have to have like a very basic understanding of a general niche process that's being performed. And then you can iterate from there. However, if you don't want to productize your own expertise, then another way would be to buy a course. So every single high-end course, and I'm not talking like $97 per month community, especially in AI, those communities are just complete garbage and they don't provide any value beyond what you can get out of from ChatGPT. So what I'm talking about here is a higher end course that costs at least multiple thousands of dollars. Every such course is essentially a well-documented business process. So you can simply watch that course and then train an AI agent on that process. And the last way is to partner with an industry expert. So this is the approach that most of YC companies are taking today. It's basically like a CTO and then an industry expert, where the CTO is handling like the agent layer and the technology stack, while the industry expert is training the agent on a specific process. And what's funny is that the technology stack is pretty much the same. Everyone is building the same agentic layer. So I'll show you how you can do the same without having to invest anything upfront by simply using our open source framework. Okay, so now how do you actually price vertical AI agents? So today, the best way to price vertical AI agents, and the way we are doing this ourselves, is licensing. Essentially, clients pay you for your agent's IP, like a specific monthly price, ongoing, for as long as they are using your agent. And although there are more pricing models like usage-based and performance-based, these models are a bit challenging to set up. We're actively working on setting them up ourselves. And as soon as we do that, I'll post another video and show you how you can do this as well. But under the licensing model, essentially, you only charge your clients for the IP, and they also pay for the API tokens themselves. This way, you don't really have to worry about the usage of your agent going crazy. Additionally, we provide ongoing Slack support for each agent plus onboarding and a 7-day free trial. So I definitely recommend you install some kind of a free trial for your vertical AI agents, because vertical AI agents is a productized offering, and this is what many B2B SaaS products also use in order to help them convert more customers. Now, how do you actually build vertical AI agents? So the key thing to understand is that vertical AI agents are just templates. It's literally just that. So in order to build a vertical AI agent, all you need to do is simply productize the parts of the agent that have to be customized across different businesses and keep everything else the same. So I'm going to show you step by step from scratch how to do this on a real example today. But first, let me share with you our complete playbook for vertical AI agents. So the first step is to start with at least one solution for a specific client. After that, you need to identify what needs to be customized and what doesn't. Typically, you need to customize across 3 of the primary agent components, which are instructions, knowledge, and actions. After that, you need to create an onboarding flow for your agent, which I'll show you again how to do very soon. Then you need to deploy it. Then you need to set up the evals. So evals is a very important step, and I'll also show you how to do this today. Basically, evals can give your agents superpowers because they will be able to continuously improve with every new client. After that, you need to keep iterating and improving these agents based on the feedback and the evals themselves. And after that, you can simply scale it by increasing your marketing efforts. Or if you've built a really good solution, then maybe you wouldn't even need any marketing efforts because your clients will simply refer more clients to you later. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This is how you build vertical AI agents in theory. And now let's actually jump in practice. Let me show you how you can actually do this using our own open source framework and template. So let's jump right into it. So here's the template. You'll find the link to this template down below. This is our starter template that we use for all new projects. And now it also contains this new special command called productize that essentially describes to an agent step by step how to create those vertical agent templates from your existing projects. But of course, don't turn off this video just yet, because it's not enough to just run a simple command in a repo if you want to create a real production-ready AI agent. You actually have to understand what's going on. And in order to do that, let me explain to you exactly how this onboarding feature works. So you'll also find the link to this documentation page down below. And let me just quickly walk you through it and explain the key things that you actually have to understand before you start building. So let's start from the very beginning. Why is customization so important? Well, because, for example, every single company has an accounting agent, and although the process is pretty much in general the same for each accountant, the specific steps and like the softwares that each company uses are different. And so the key here is to productize only these specific steps that are different and keep the general process the same. And the way we handle this in our framework is by creating this custom onboarding tool. So essentially, it's just a pydantic model. You don't have to worry about these technical details. Just basically, every single field that you see here, it has a special type and a description. And essentially, all you need to do is just create these fields with the specific variables that have to be changed across different businesses. Like, for example, for this accounting agent, I have to change like the business overview so the agent has enough context, the accounting frequency, because companies typically do accounting either weekly, monthly, or quarterly, the accounting software like Xero or QuickBooks, the invoice delivery method, and so on. So let's take a look at another example with a data analytics agent that I have already productized on our platform. And here you can see how I created this instructions file template that contains certain variables, like for example, analytics APIs, credentials files, output format, and so on. And then to actually provide these variables, I simply insert them into the instructions file just like this using the Python's format command. And so this allows me to create these instruction templates where I keep the general process the same across every single instance of an agent, but the specifics, like for example, how you actually want this agent to respond, are different. And you can do this across any component, not just instructions, but also tools and the knowledge of an agent. And so I'm going to show you exactly how to do all this today. And the first step is to simply copy this template repository. So simply create a new repository, name it as the agent or the agency, collection of multiple agents that you want to productize, and then open it in Cursor. So I'm going to be productizing an existing agent. This is the agent that's currently working on our platform website that's handling around 30% of incoming customer support tickets. So this is the code for the MVP version of this agent. In this video, I'm not going to go in detail on how you can build MVPs with our framework. Instead, if you want to learn that, make sure to watch this video right here. But basically, all you need to do is just simply send a prompt to Cursor because it already contains this workflow MDC file that essentially explains it, how to build agents with our framework. Okay, but now I actually want to productize this agent. So the first step, as I showed in our playbook, is to understand what you actually want to productize. Like for example, here I see the email address of our customer support team, which is definitely going to be different. And so regarding the actions, this agent contains just one customer support schema that describes our customer support endpoint where it can submit a customer support request. And regarding the last component, the knowledge of the agent, we are also providing this files folder where we are uploading currently all our previous resolved customer support issues. So as you might guess, both of these components will also have to be customized. So let's now actually proceed and let's try to do this together. By the way, also feel free to try out the new agent mode in Cursor, especially if you don't know how to code. So literally all I need to do to get started is simply tag this productize command. Then you can simply hit enter. So first it's going to search the web for the documentation for our onboarding page. And then it's going to proceed to reading the current agent files. So you can see how here it suggests me the potential customizable fields. And honestly, all these fields are really accurate. This is pretty much all that I wanted to customize, except maybe it's missing the customer support schemas. And since this is a pretty advanced feature in our framework, if you're using any of such features that Cursor might not be aware of, make sure you first search our documentation and then also copy the link to the documentation page. Then simply paste it into Cursor. So you can see how the agent also now inserted those variables inside the instructions, just as I planned to do myself. Yeah, I mean, looking at the code, everything seems to be correct. So let's now also quickly test it. Let's create a new terminal, and then let's simply run the Python agency.py file. And yeah, our agent seems to be fully functional. So the only thing I think that Cursor forgot to do is to add this environment variable inside the env.template file. So basically inside .env.template, we also need to add this customer support bearer token in order to authenticate our API. And later, all these environment variables that you have added to this file will also be shown to the user in the onboarding form. So yeah, I mean, this agent looks great to me. It's also going to be fully open source. I'll show you how to get the code later. So in order for us to deploy it, all we need to do is simply push this commit to GitHub. Okay, so now let's go to our platform called Agency and let's see what it actually looks like for the end user. So to deploy your productized agent, simply hit publish an agent on our marketplace and then find the repo for this agent. It doesn't have to be public. You can actually even post private repositories and not even list them on our marketplace at all and just keep them for yourself and your own clients. Also, you can deploy one agency completely for free without even adding your credit card or any other details. And if you want to upgrade to unlimited agencies and integrations, it's only $20 per month. Okay, so then just briefly check the README, make sure you add a category for your agent, and then if you want to, you can also provide your company details, although this step is optional. Then you can simply hit publish. So the first time you deploy this, it's going to take some time to build out your agency. So we're going to check for any errors in your code, and then it's going to be live on our marketplace. So if you want to just keep it private, make sure you just hit unpublish, and this way no one except for you will be able to see your agent. And now here's the onboarding form that we have just created in code. You can check out the full customer support agent template here by clicking view on GitHub. And yeah, I mean, this is all it takes. It's honestly pretty simple. Cursor has done probably like 95% of the work. It hasn't even done any errors at all. So now let me customize this agency and now let's try to deploy it. So let me upload our knowledge files. You can also add any other documentation as needed. Let me also insert my OpenAPI schema and now finally add the environment variables. So then you can simply hit save and this way your agency is already going to be deployed. So this is all it takes now for me to deploy my agency. As you can see, it's super simple. And now I can scale it across as many clients as I need to. Instead of jumping into the code and customizing it manually myself every single time, I can simply allow my clients to fill out one simple form and then the agency will automatically be deployed. Additionally, what's really cool about our platform is that if you push any changes to your agents in the future, your clients' agents will also be automatically updated. And if you change the onboarding form, they will only be required to provide new fields in that onboarding form. Okay, so now you can see that our agency is deployed. So let me show you how to put it into a website widget. So all it takes is simply create a widget just like this, then find your agency from the list, and then simply hit Save Changes. Now let me, for example, say that I have an issue with the platform. So you can see how the agent is now searching the files that I have provided inside the onboarding form, and then it asks me for some of the details that are required in order to submit the customer support ticket in our API. Okay, so let me provide the details. And now you can see how it's executing the send support request tool from our OpenAPI schema. Awesome. So let's see if this ticket has arrived. And yes, indeed, we have this customer support ticket, and it also even formatted the message properly, making it much easier for our customer support team to handle it. So that's how easy it is now to productize your agents and turn them into scalable vertical templates. Now, onto the last topic, which can supercharge your agents and create a very strong mode for your services, which is Evals. So evals on our framework are enabled by default, which means that all you need to do to see the evals is simply go to platform.openai.com. Here under the dashboard logs traces, you can now see all of these customer support agent traces. So this way you can analyze the messages and what your clients are actually asking. And also, of course, all the tool calls and all the responses. So in order to run an eval, all you need to do is simply hit evals and then select customer support agency here on top. Then you can describe what you want to check, like for example, if the issue has been resolved correctly. Select your model, I recommend GPT-5 Mini, and then simply hit run. Now simply hit grade all, and this will run an eval on your last 5 traces. You can also select more, like for example, last 10 or even all of them. So the evals on OpenAI run asynchronously, depending on how many traces you are evaluating. This can take from 5 minutes to multiple hours. So let's wait until the eval is completed. Awesome, and now we get the resolution correctness at 60%. So 2 out of the 5 traces have failed our evaluation. And now to improve your agent, all you need to do is simply open those traces and check what exactly the user has been asking. You can also see the reasoning for this eval here on the right. And it seems like the issue has not been resolved yet because although the agent correctly followed the escalation procedure, it did not complete the resolution within this trace. So it means that customer probably wanted to report an issue, but he didn't follow through and actually submitted a customer support request. So this way, essentially, you can improve your agents continuously. You can simply take a look at all the traces that are failing. You can also, by the way, take a look, of course, at the successful traces to see what your customers are actually asking. So you can categorize different issues, and this can also help you to significantly improve the performance of your agent. But yeah, you get the idea. Essentially, this way, you can keep improving your agent by analyzing all these traces, which gives you so much insight into what problems your customers are actually having with your agent. And the best part is that the more customers you get, the better you can make your agent. So I think this was an extremely useful tutorial. I've showed you a lot in this video, and this is exactly what we are doing ourselves right now. We're productizing all the solutions that we've previously built for multiple clients and now offering them at scale with much lower costs. So if you want to see another solution that we have recently developed just like this, which is a super advanced data analytics agent that can connect literally to any API without even using MCP servers, make sure to watch this video next. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe.